The Full Circle Podcast. Compelling interviews and incredible tales from Colorado's Western Slope, from the mountains to the desert. Christi Reece and her team hear from the movers, shakers, and characters of the Grand Valley and surrounding mountain towns that make the Western Slope the place we all love. You'll learn, you'll laugh, you'll love with The Full Circle. Hello everyone, it's Christi Reece, and it's time again for our Full Circle podcast. And I'm really excited today to introduce to you man about town, Biff Messinger. Welcome, Biff.
Thank you, Christi. It's great to be here.
We're really excited to host you today. And, one of the things that we say in our podcast intro is that we like to interview community leaders and just interesting people on the Western Slope. And I think you fit both of those categories.
Well, I kind of consider myself a follower because I have so many great leaders in everything I do. But I'm very, very blessed in that regard. I have fun doing what I do.
Well, I know a lot of people in town know who you are, but let's start with talk about, because usually when I'm introducing somebody that's, the mayor or the CMU president, we talk about that. You have a lot of roles in town right now. What are your current board positions and what's your current roles in the different organizations in town right now?
Right. Well, I'm currently on the board of directors for Rivers Edge West, formerly known as the Tamarisk Coalition. And as you probably all know also, we protect the riparian ecosystem of our western rivers. It's a huge undertaking, very important. Mm-hmm.
And any other boards that you're currently on?
Well, I was on the, as you know, the Community Food Bank board for 8 years. Yes. I was a volunteer, and then I was on the board of directors for 8 years. I was a president for 4 years, 1 year over my term. An exciting time to be in the Community Food Bank. It grew about triple the size what it was when I first came on. And that's a result of the world events that have come about. Right.
Well, we might as well talk about that right now. What a challenging time to be director of a food bank when a lot of people were facing uncertain livelihoods in our community.
You're correct. There's always been food insecurity in the valley, as there is across the country. And we were trying to address that. And our food bank is a little unique in that the Community Food Bank likes to think of itself as an emergency bridge for people not to be dependent on for a whole year, but rather get them through financial straits. A lot of our clients are single moms who work 2-3 jobs and have children. It's awfully tough if their car breaks down and they have to come up with $800 to fix the car, and they have to make choices about do we turn off the heat? Do we get food? What do we do? And so the food bank is there for just such emergencies. We used to feed about 16,000 people a year when I first came on the food bank.
And what year did you first start with them?
2014.
Okay.
2014, and at first I was packing boxes and working in the back and loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm no longer on the board after 8 years. I'm back to doing what I started out doing. I take my truck and I deliver food to shut-ins who can't make it to the food bank. A lot of the same people that get Meals on Wheels.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. So talk a little bit about the challenges that you had during the pandemic.
Well, and that's a very interesting subject. First of all, our challenges were the same as everybody else. We had to change our business model completely. You can't come to the food bank now.
Can't come inside.
You can't come inside. So we started up a drive-through. And we had to change what we did. We had to change our interview process, and it was difficult. But I was fortunate, and I didn't know it at the time, but I hired a new executive director, young, and she came from the Front Range and had experience in a lot of nonprofits. And most of all, she was technologically savvy, which we never had before.
What, you weren't?
No, I'm afraid not.
Still aren't?
I'm still not. You can ask my daughter about that. I call her all the time, including a lot of her staff members. They all do all my spreadsheets and everything else. So if you're ever walking around over by the university or down in GJEP, they're still doing my stuff. I'm fortunate in that regard too. But no, our main challenge was having to change our business model and how do we get people through. And there was a huge increase in need for food. But the other thing that happened, a lot of people were out of jobs. Well, that resulted in, of course, food insecurity, but it also resulted in people looking for something to do. And so we got a lot of volunteers. And
the community really stepped up with their giving, didn't they?
It was crazy how much. Yeah, people saw that the ABC News piece on the Dallas Food Bank, and there was a real vivid picture, a portrayal of 5 cars wide and 2 miles back. Thousands and thousands of people lined up trying to get food, and they were doing their best to accommodate them. But people saw that, and through interpolation, they realized that probably is happening right here, and it was. So they came forward, and we started getting, the people that usually give us $100 gave us $500. The people who gave us $500 gave us $1,500, and that's the way it worked. We got government grants, we got food, we got help from the county and from the state, and we built up our budget to the point where we could not only feed all the extra people that came in, but we had money to spare. For the past 10 years, we've been looking at our dream was to have a permanent location, a permanent home.
Because you were renting for years.
Always renting. Yeah. We used to be in the county building, which was a pretty good deal. They gave us we had very, very low rent. We had a lot of space there. We had walk-in freezer and refrigerator, but they repurposed that area and we had to get out. Then we were challenged with finding a place that we could afford, and we were living from hand to mouth at that time. We were fortunate enough to get enough to make it through that time because of this community would not let us fall behind. Very generous. But because of COVID and because of all that money that was coming in, we were able to buy a new building, and we're in it now. Just past the VA hospital on 28 and a half Road. And if you ever get a chance to go down there, please do. We give tours.
I have not been to the new location.
Well, you need to get down there, Christi, because it's your cup of tea in the first place. You do everything in the community, and I know how you guys feel about that.
Well, when I toured your last facility, I mean, it brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Everything that you all do and all the volunteers that were there helping out and how well organized and how run it was really impressive.
Well, I brought some of my military perspective into the running of that food bank, and we were efficient, but we had a lot of fun doing what we did, and boy, we helped a lot of people, and that's what it's all about, really. And the new location is fantastic, and of course now that the pandemic is basically over in the sense of how we operate, we've found out that we don't need to go back to exactly the way we did it before the pandemic. We can still have walk-ins, and we can do drive-through. And I do, what I do is not the drive-through, I do the deliveries, and along with about 7 other truck driver volunteers, and we deliver, and I do it every Friday. And it reminds me of how fortunate that we are.
For sure. Well, you mentioned your military career, so let's go back. I mean, way back machine. Way back.
Okay.
Tell us about your childhood and where you grew up and what experience you had with military.
Sure. Well, I was born in San Jose, Costa Rica in 1948.
Were you really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I was born there. My father was on active duty in the Army. He was down there training guerrillas. Because at the time, the communists were running that country, Costa Rica. And the people wanted to overthrow the government, and my dad was down there with the Special Ops Group doing that. We've been doing that kind of stuff for about 200 years, I think. At any rate, my mother was pregnant, and unfortunately, the pediatrician who was going to deliver me was a communist, and he had to run for the woods and hide out. So my dad had to deliver me.
Oh my gosh!
In our house there in San Jose. We made it through, and all is well. And I ended up leaving. We left a year and a half later and went to Tacoma, Washington for about 8 months, and then we went to Sendai, Japan. And we lived in Japan. And then from then, I don't want to go into all the places, but typical military family. My
Typical
dad was
military move every
yep.
couple of years.
Yep, yep, exactly.
They don't want to get attached.
No, they didn't. And but growing up in that environment was, you see everything, you see all cultures, and it's a lot of fun. I look back on it. I don't have any regrets. Some people say, "Gee, I missed so much." I don't feel like I missed anything at all. And I look back on my childhood. Now, I will say this. Because my father was so busy, he probably didn't have all the time he needed to make sure I was on the straight and narrow. And I was a bad 8th grader. You ever hear of a bad 8th grader?
Oh, yeah.
Are you doing something there?
You know what? I forgot to start my timer, and I think you and I could talk for a couple hours, so I just got to keep us honest.
Considering we're on chapter 1 here. Yeah, so I was, my dad had given me a final decree. He said, Biff, you either straighten up or we're sending you back to the States to military school. Well, my mother wouldn't let him do that. I knew that. And but I was a knucklehead. Nothing really bad. I was just a knucklehead. I spoke Turkish, so I ran around the Ankara, Turkey with my good buddy, and we had a lot of fun. But finally, I got kicked off the school bus, and I wasn't allowed to ride the school buses anymore for something I don't want to discuss because it some people might find it
off color.
It had to do with astronomy.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
a certain planet that shall remain nameless.
Well, a satellite, really.
Okay.
Anyway, I wasn't allowed to ride a school bus anymore, and my dad said that's the final straw. So we got on an airplane. We went back to the States. He drove me to military school and dropped me off at the school a day early, so nobody was there. Put my footlocker on the ground and said, "Well, Biff, I hope you grow up and do well." And off he drove, and I was there alone and cried my way through the first 3 nights. And then the other cadets came, and they were mean to me, and I cried my way through another 3 nights. And I was there for 4 years, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
And where is that school?
Fort Union Military Academy in Fort Union, Virginia. And we have produced 2 Heisman Trophy winners, 47 NFL football players,
wow.
16 NBA players, a couple 3-star generals. It's a fabulous school. It's an all-male military boarding school, and it's Baptist. We went to church every day. It's quite a unique experience, and you push back on it, and you say, this is crazy, and you say, I can't wait to get out of here. I ended up being the president of my class and the highest ranking cadet and all that kind of stuff. I was the captain of the track team, and I played all the sports, and I was like the perfect cadet when I got out of there.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, but I was glad to get out of there. But I look back on that so fondly now. It did everything my dad wanted it to do. Unfortunately, he passed away my sophomore year and never got to see me graduate.
Oh,
so I went on to the Citadel from there in Charleston, South Carolina. Have you been to Charleston?
Not been to Charleston.
Christi, you got to get out more.
I haven't been to the East very much.
Let's cut the cameras off and let's get going because
let's make our travel plans.
Okay, well, Charleston, that's a great place to go to school, and I loved it. My son followed me, and he went there as well 30 years later. Anyway, so that's that. I went into the Army. I spent a career in the Army. I just like my dad, nothing changed. Now I'm hauling my children, Robin and John, around with us. And we lived in Germany, and my daughter, Robin, she went to Montessori school, and they only spoke French and German in the Montessori school.
Oh, wow.
And so when we go shopping, she was a little tiny tot. She'd do all the interpreting for us. But now then she lost it when she got back in the States.
I was going to say, I didn't know Robin spoke other languages.
She doesn't now.
Doesn't now.
She speaks CMU.
Well, she's doing a good job of it, too. For those of you that don't know, Biff's daughter is Robin Brown, who is the foundation director at CMU.
Correct.
And past GJEP director.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But I still can't get free football tickets, so I don't know what that's all about.
Come on.
No.
Really?
No.
I know President Marshall. I'll put in a good word for you.
I know him, too. Do you know a story? You know a funny story about President Marshall?
Oh, please tell.
Okay, I'm over there visiting him, and we're in his office. My brother-in-law and myself and Robin were in there talking to him. And all these workers are running around like busy bees in his office. And this is like the second week he was in there. And they're getting their tape measures, and they're measuring, and they're wondering. I said, what's going on? He says, well, all the doors. They're raising the doors because he's hitting his head on the doors. He's about 8 feet tall, you know. Yeah. So they had to do that. So that's what they were doing at the time. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, good. Then, do they shorten the doors for Robin's area?
That's very good.
Sorry.
I hope you're watching, Robin.
I think we're about the same height. So.
Yeah. No.
So how did you get to Grand Junction?
So, retired from the military. My last posting in the military was at the United States Military Academy at West Point, where I had a great job. I was chief of operations for the Corps Cadets, wonderful. And my kids took full advantage of living in Camelot. It was wonderful. Robin did everything at school. John did everything. They were super good kids. Never had any problems with them at all. They were
You didn't
great.
have to send them to military academy.
John went to Fort Union. He wanted to go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It wasn't a punishment.
No, it wasn't a punishment, unlike his dad. But I retired from the Army, and I was hired immediately by my alma mater, Fort Union Military Academy, to come there and be the commandant of cadets. So I was the commandant at the school I graduated from 30 years ago.
Oh, neat.
And you know what's amazing is that 7 of the teachers that taught me and coaches were still there 30 years
Really?
later.
Wow.
And it's like time hadn't moved at all. They all look the same, but now I get to call them by their first name, which took a little while to get used to. But I had a great time there. Did that for 3 years, and then I went to work for USAA. And I ran the USAA office at West Point. And a great job, easy job, because all I had to do was get cadets to become USAA members. Well, that's a
no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
They all wanted to do that. I did a good job, and they moved me up to San Antonio to the headquarters after 4 years there. And I went there, and again, they gave me a jet and a team, and I went around the country selling USAA, not selling the product, selling the idea of USAA, military financial management, taking care of soldiers and sailors and Marines and Coast Guards and airmen. So that was a great job. I loved doing it. I did it for 11 years, retired from them, and I was going to go fishing. And it didn't work
in
out
Colorado?
that way. No, I was going to go fishing in Texas. I loved San Antonio. That's where the headquarters was. But I got out of. I was approached by a good friend of mine who was an Army buddy of mine who was down in Phoenix, and went down there, and he had it all set up. So we walked in, and he introduced me to his boss, the CEO of Tri-West Healthcare Alliance, that had the military contract for all military healthcare in the 21 western states, Hawaii and Alaska. And he offered me a job on the spot. He said, "Biff, I'd like you to come work for us and do the same thing for us you did for USAA, except instead of financial services, you'll be doing healthcare for veterans."
For veterans.
And for their families.
Okay.
And I was still reluctant, and then he mentioned the salary, and I said, "Okay, where's my office?"
Fishing can wait.
Yeah, fishing can wait. So I did that, and that was as good a job as you can imagine. It was fantastic, and I that's where I really got the fever for nonprofit, because one of the things that I had to do, the military doesn't cover everything. Believe it or not, back then in 2007, there were a lot of things like hyperbaric chambers for people. That's a common thing now. We know the value of a hyperbaric chamber, but the military didn't cover it. So I had to go out and find bill payers that would help a service member get a hyperbaric chamber for his 3-year-old son who has a heart problem and needs surgery. And I was able to do that. I had connections all over, and there are a lot of nonprofits that target specific parts of the military. Marines, Force Recon, Navy SEALs, every piece, every niche in the military, every service has someone who wants to take care of them. We all know the big ones, but I was able to go and get money to pay for these things, and it was such a gratifying experience. And I did that right up until we lost the government contract, which is another story. We lost it and to Humana, I think it was, and so we closed up shop, and I was out of a job, but it's okay because I was ready to go fishing again. Well, during my last couple of years with Tri-West in Phoenix, I would come down to Grand Junction and visit my daughter and her husband and family who lived here, and every time we'd come down here, I couldn't help but to notice this is a wonderful place. Everything about it, everything. The people, the pace, the people here are so compassionate. They're so fun, and there's music, and there's fantastic downtown, great university, everything I like. So one day I said to Robin, after we were leaving after Thanksgiving, I said, Robin, I think when we finally do retire, and we're going to leave Phoenix and we're going to move to Grand Junction. Mm-hmm. You never know how your daughter's going to respond. And she said, okay. And so I guess 2 months later, maybe a month later, we're doing, and the phone rings and it's Robin. Said, Dad, if you're serious about what you said before, the house next door just came up for sale. I bought it that day. And we moved next door to the Browns, and they were our next door neighbors for 7 years. And Robin and Hank and Merle were in our house as my grandkids, as much as they were in their house. Fantastic. Again, it's
so great.
We're living the dream.
Yeah.
And but I got here, and it was great. It was fun. There was lots to do, but I needed something to do.
Well, when people started discovering how much energy you have and how much passion for nonprofits, people got excited, right? Like, Biff, come join us.
I think so. Again, a lot of times you live off vicariously through your children. Well, Robin had started. She hit the ground running when she got here, and she did all kinds of things. I don't know how many people know she was doing Avalon replenishment and raising money for them. DDA, we did that. When she worked for the DDA, actually, I was her gopher. I used to do the lifting when she was down there. But you're right. A friend of mine, and I'm sure you probably know her, Jen Grosheim Harris. You know Jen Grosheim Harris? She's a gorgeous blonde like you, and she asked Robin to join her Rotary, her Horizon Sunrise Rotary, and Robin said, I can't, I'm too busy. I went, but you ought to ask my dad, and so she fixed us up. We went out and had coffee, and I visited Horizon Sunrise Rotary, and I said, this is for me.
You haven't missed a meeting since,
I haven't missed a meeting since. Well, a couple, but not very many. Yeah. They're all people like me. I mean, everybody's in step. Everybody is a passionate servant of the community, and I love it. And so that also I was at Horizon Sunrise Rotary when the executive director for the community food bank came in and gave a little pitch on the food bank.
Oh, and that's how you got involved in that?
I followed her down and volunteered that day for the food bank, and I've been volunteering ever since.
Wow!
So that's how we got here. I followed my daughter and her family.
Mm-hmm. And so food bank, Rotary, I know you're heavily involved in that. You also have a lot to do with blood drives, and I know you like to come to our office, and we like to help you out with donating blood. And Suzanne was an award winner for a while. She had a record for a while, but I think she got surpassed, right? Oh, did you bring it?
I brought the records here. You can on
Where is she now?
On the second sheet, you can see what happened there. But yeah, I've always been a blood donor. I started in the Army, and it's for me, it's a no-brainer. Again, of course in the Army they form up the platoons and you march in there and you give blood. Nobody volunteers. You just do it. And I think we did that at the Citadel as well. Everybody gives blood.
Right. It's
not. I think that would be against the law today, but back in the good old days, that's what we did it. At any rate, I always thought, what an easy thing to do to save a life. You know, it really is. So I've always been passionate about that, and everywhere I've gone, I've donated blood. Unfortunately, the blood services are all different, so you never know exactly how much you gave. I try to guess sometimes. But so I got here, and I went and donated blood at St. Mary's Blood Center. I told them I'd like to help more, and they said, well, do you ever think about being the coordinator? And I said, that's what I'm going to be. So I go out to businesses like Christi Reece Group, who I know is a community active group, and I say, I'm going to bring the bloodmobile, park it right in front of your building, and I'll send you a link. You sign up, and all you have to do is walk out. Most of the time, it takes 20 minutes or so. In the case of Suzanne, it only takes 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is she in second place now?
Third. Tied for third.
Oh, tied for third. Yeah, that's right.
And I see you and Jen Grosheim Harris are on the list. That's probably because you donate so often, you just get faster every time?
You got to drink water. That's Suzanne. She's a pro. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Well, you make it really easy on people, and we appreciate that. I mean, when the bus is parked out here, all we have to do is walk outside and, yeah.
Guess what? We're going to do it again.
I know.
And we're going to do it at the new office in Fruta.
Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, we own it now. We're super excited. Yeah, we're going to park the bus out in Fruta, do blood drive, and invite the other businesses downtown.
Great. Yeah, we will. And of course, the fill-in, the gaps will be my Horizon Sunrise Rotary. And so, the good thing about this, and I'm telling you this to gin up interest, but we have a fast draw contest. Yeah. And the person with the fastest draw, in this case, Maquette, at the last one, she broke Suzanne's record at the last one.
And this is a world record, too.
It is a world record. I mean,
that's amazing.
I'm waiting for someone to dispute that. Nobody has yet.
Okay.
So anyway, that's so quick that you can't. You get settled down, you put it in, they walk away, and you have to come right back. So the person with the fastest draw for each blood drive gets a gift certificate from me for Devil's Kitchen for a Bloody Mary. And they make
that's perfect.
really good. I should have.
Gosh, we need some right now, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But it's delicious. But anyway, that's what you get. And so someone at your blood drive in Fruta will get a Bloody Mary, and I'll present that to them. But it's fun. And the group down there now, it's Vitalent. It's a new organization,
right.
And there's growing pains and little hiccups now and then. But a lot of them are the same people that work for St. Mary's. All great people.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't. I mean, you
for
hurt
anybody
yourself.
that's afraid of donating blood, don't be afraid. Super easy.
I'll bet you 5 times a day you have a pain that's a lot worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
Just from nothing.
I used to tell my kids when they were getting a shot or something, I said, just pretend your brother's pinching you. And that hurts way worse. Because then if you just think, oh, my brother's pinching me, like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So and that's a fun thing to do. And it really, as far as I'm concerned, it's easy. There's some admin stuff you have to do, and you do some coordination. But I get to meet great people, and I come in here and I breathe in the fresh air that's in here. You ever notice how fresh the air is in here?
Oh, hadn't thought of that.
Oh yeah, well you can use that if you want. But I get that's another thing. I get to go around and do that. Oh, by the way, I don't know that you'd call it an ulterior motive, but when I go in and I approach all these businesses, they get to know that not only am I here as a blood drive coordinator, but I'm also representing Rivers Edge West, Horizon Sunrise Rotary, and really the Community Food Bank. What do you need to know about those things? And you want to tell me? I'll tell you what they need, and you can help them. They all do something for this community. So it's called networking, and we all do it.
Well, you're really good at it, and so is Robin. I mean, I remember when Robin was working on the Avalon project, and I thought, this girl that hasn't even lived here that long, she doesn't know anybody yet, but man, she, like you said, hit the ground running, and I think you're the same way. Like, there isn't anybody you haven't met, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny when that happens. Kathleen and I went to an art fair at the base camp, Sunday, and I was walking through there, and I said to her, hey, I don't know anybody here. And she said, that can't be right.
And she said, not for long.
And just then, a couple came up, hey, Biff, what are you doing here? And so I was saved. But and it's a small town, and we all joke about the fact that if you're sitting in a restaurant, don't talk about other people, because they're probably sitting right next to you somewhere.
It's true. You're related to someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's my blood drive experience.
So there's another thing on my sheet that I would love to talk more about, and that's the Grand Valley Resettlement Project.
Oh, yeah.
How are you involved in that?
Well, of course, back again to my Rotary Club. They were guests. The
directors of this
group? No, the family.
The family.
Christi Redlinger brought him in. You know Christi? She's a vice president of the Bank of the San Juans.
Okay.
Right there on 6th and 50, and she's involved in everything. She's a great gal, and she's the person that pumps blood into our Rotary Exchange program, and we have an incredible Rotary Exchange program.
And tell people what that is.
High school students from foreign countries come here for the junior year in high school, and we reciprocate and send someone from here to their country for their junior year, the entire junior year. And we put 3 families as hosts, and each of them take a student, and they go through their junior year. They matriculate into school and become a Grand Junction Tiger. It's really cool, and we've been doing it since I've been there, and it's really a good program. Super.
And that comes down from National Rotary. That's a program that they do.
Yes, international. Yeah,
international.
It sure is. It very successful. When I was in Rotary in West Point, we had it, and we had a cadet always come in and talk to them, because the West Point is full of cadets that were exchange students. Big surprise. They're great kids, but. Going back to Grand Valley Resettlement Project, the family came in, and they're the Akbaris, and Dawood is the father.
And they're from
Kabul. They live in Kabul.
Afghanistan.
Yes. And 3 daughters, all of them in school, not allowed to be in school. You're only allowed to go to 6th grade there, girls, and then they're done with school. And the Taliban came in, and as you know, they're in charge now. And so that by itself was threatening. But the fact that he also was supportive of our services over there,
services.
they had to be smuggled out. Otherwise, their lives were in jeopardy. Their entire family, along with a lot of other families. Well, it turns out we have 7 families in that category that are coming to Grand Junction. 4 of them are already here. Dawood's family is here. And I was interested right away. I met them, and I spoke Turkish, so I tried speaking Turkish, thinking maybe there's some connection, and there is a little bit. But no, we both speak English. He speaks English better than I do, and, which is no great feat either. But I just started. I realized they have a house and they pay for it through the government program. But he needs everything. He needs a driver's license. He needs a car. Anybody out there?
How do you get started?
Yeah. But let me just say before I go any further, right now the biggest need is for a car. They have no transportation. That family depends on myself and a couple other volunteers to take them everywhere they want to go. Other than that, they take the bus or they walk. You can't believe how far the distances they walk sometimes, and they shake their. I said, "You walked all the way to Canyon View?" And yes. It's okay. It's nice. And so...
Okay, listeners and watchers, we need a vehicle for this family.
If you know anybody, and I know it's a big ask, I understand that. If you know anybody who has an old junker or something that we could fix up, because we have people that we could take to, this family desperately needs a car. They have 7 people in their family. And they have 4 in our District 51 schools. And all of them speak English, and they're all doing well. And they've been embraced by the community. But Dawood, the head of the family, has no driver's license. He has one from Afghanistan, but we need to get him one. So I'm in the process.
You're helping him with that?
I am doing that. I'm even going to take him out on a Sunday when there's nobody around in a school parking lot and let him drive my Subaru.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, I can drive. And I probably can drive better than me too." But we're going to do all that. We're going to get him his driver's license. He's got a visa now. They're here, and all the papers are being processed for their citizenship. But it takes 3 years.
And does he have a job? Is he employed?
As a matter of fact, we're looking for that. I got him a part-time job with a landscape company, but it's hit or miss. They don't need him all the time, and it doesn't pay a lot. But he's willing to do anything. Like most people who come to this country, they'll do anything, and he's that way. But he's educated and has many skills.
And was very loyal to the U.S.
Absolutely, which is why he had to run for it.
Yeah.
So he does need a job. Kimberly. Kimberly. Oh wow! Oh, Kimberly's not listening. Clemmer. Yes. Welding. Well, he's a welder.
Oh, wow.
But they don't have any openings right now. But she's agreed to have him come over and they'll
Fantastic.
talk to him. Yeah, everybody's like that. And
so this is the
great.
first family out of 7.
There's 4 here right now.
4 families.
So, and in addition to that, we got them lined up with the food bank, so that what we're trying to do with the food bank is get a hold of food that's the kind of food that they have a particular kind of food they like. I mean,
it's really hard to transition to
absolutely it is
American food and portion sizes and all that. Yeah,
there's a particular kind of rice that they prefer and they can't get it here. So we're trying to do that. And I also on one Friday every month, I deliver food boxes to every one of the Afghan families with all the local stuff that they need. Not local stuff, but the stuff that we brought in. And we're trying to customize those boxes to accommodate their needs. And I take Dawood with me, because then I get to meet all the other families, and it's neat. Really neat. So we're doing that as well.
So if people want to help out with the resettlement project, how do they go about that? Is there a website?
Yeah, there is a Grand Valley Resettlement Project, and if you Google that, it'll pop up, and you'll not only that, but you'll learn the chronology of how they got here and all these families and where they go. They don't come here directly from Afghanistan. They have to go to a stopover station, and they're in their that's usually somewhere in Asia. and they stay there for a long time, and they can't go out of the building. And now we're talking about a family of 7 who 8 months are in a high-rise apartment building. They can't go outside. Then they come here and they go to someplace, either Virginia or Kentucky, and they go through an administration process that takes a couple months. And eventually they're selected to go to a particular place. And I'm not sure how many states have what we have, but we have a unique one here, and somehow we asked for it. And the people over at Canyon View Church are very involved in supporting them. All the people that I've met that are with this program that are helping, the volunteers, are all super people. They just want to help and get these people on their feet and make them productive members of our community.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to meet any of the families yet, but I look forward to that.
We'll make
Glad they're
we'll
here.
make that happen.
Yeah. Cycle Effect.
The Cycle Effect. Are you familiar with the Cycle Effect?
We are. We donated some money to the Cycle Effect.
Good for you, because
Yeah.
they're an impressive group of young ladies.
Yeah.
And funny thing, I got a call from a young lady named Sophia, and she says, "I heard you're the man to talk to about funding." And I said, "Well, okay." And she says, you know the Cycle Effect?" I said, "No, I don't." So we met for coffee down at Kiln, which is where you go to have coffee with people. And she laid it out for me, and I said, "Well, you know what? This is really impressive. Why don't you come to my Rotary and be my guest there?" So she did. And so her story is so compelling. Not exclusively, but mostly young Hispanic girls who need a helping hand. So this group takes them, and it's originally from Eagle, but we have our own group
chapter here.
Yes, our own chapter here, and they all get a mountain bike, a good mountain bike that's theirs. They don't get to take it home, but it's it's assigned to them, and they get it every time. Yeah. Every Tuesday and Thursday they go up to what's the Redlands school way up there, the nice one? Wingate. They go to Wingate, and they all meet up there. They get there, and they all have a uniform they wear. And there's a lot of, when they get there, they get in a big circle, and they all join arms, and they go through their creed, which is about helping other people. And then they take a ride, and they go up and they go different routes. And the managers, they call them, the girls that manage them, are all just super young, 20, 30-something-year-old bike riders.
Mountain biking.
Yeah, mountain biking.
Yeah.
So we gave them $1,500 out of a grant for the same reason you did. You read their mission, and it's all what they do,
really
and you
impressed.
said, that's something we need to support. And we did. Well, a couple of weeks later, in comes Dawood with his family, and he's got a young 16-year-old named Sarah, spelled just like we spell Sarah, and she speaks very good English, fluent, I'd say. And
does she want to learn to ride a mountain bike?
I asked her, I said, "Hey, do you ride bikes?" I said, "Oh, I don't have a bike, but I'd love to." I said, "Would you be interested?" And I explained to her. She said, "Oh," her eyes lit up. And so I said, "Well, I'll take you." So
great,
David and I got the truck. We took her out there, and I had already talked to Sophia, and they said to bring her, and they embraced her, and now she's one of the team, and she's just, it's
That's so
gratifying.
heartwarming. That's just wonderful.
So this is a new fiscal year for us. So I told Sophia, I said, "Sophia, you got to put your grant in for $1,500. She said, "Oh, you just gave us $1,500. I said, "That's the fiscal
Ask
year."
Again.
So she did, and so that's a good story too, and exciting to see what's happening there. Yep.
So you haven't let any moss grow under your feet while you've been retired.
No, I can't, but all those things that I wanted to do in retirement, I'm doing. So I'm not missing out on anything. Now, my wife is a lot like me. She is full steam ahead.
Yeah.
She, as you know, she rides horses all the time. She rides a bike. She's always pestering me to, let's ride to Loma. And I just came back from the gym, and I'm like, and she says, "Let's ride to Loma." But she's very active, and she's also very compassionate.
Yes. And you all support each other in all your endeavors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I shovel horse poop with the best of them. I've
Perfect.
been doing it for 40 years. That's how long she's had horses. And so where are we?
Any other organizations you want to talk about? I see the Supper Club. Is that actual club here in town?
Yeah, that's
Stand-up paddleboard club?
That's exactly what it is. How did you get that? You're right. I had usually explain that to people, but that's what it is. And we hike, bike, kayak, and camp. And it's actually was started by a friend of ours who, this is Grand Junction story. So Kath and I are going to Bend one night for our anniversary, for our 50th, then it was our 50th anniversary. And we go to Bend, and it was during COVID, so the seating was all
spread out.
Spread out. Mm-hmm. And we said, and as we're going in, here comes this other couple in, and Kath looks at her and goes, Tammy, and Tammy goes, Kathleen, and they hug, and and so turns out it was their anniversary.
Oh, funny.
So anyway, we go in there, and we had our family met us, and we had our anniversary dinner, and Tammy and Mike Brislin from South Africa. He's from South Africa, and he came, but he's been here for a long time, and he's an entrepreneur. He does lots of stuff, and it turns out that he's a tennis player. So I play. I'm a tennis player.
Tennis.
I'm an extraordinary tennis player. It's extraordinary that I'm even allowed on the courts, but. We became good friends, and they're very active. They always are hiking and biking. So they said, let's go kayaking. So we got a group together, and that group has solidified and become the Supper Club.
The Supper Club.
So like in the good weather on a Friday afternoon, we go out to Robb Park, and we all put our stuff in the little lake out there by the park, and we kayak and sup around, and then we all brought picnics, and we all have a picnic on the picnic table. We do that all the time, and we haven't done it in a while though. Come to think of it, it's about time we do it again. But we also take hikes to Utah and do all the good fun stuff. So it's a lot of fun, yeah.
So do you have advice for people that think retirement is going to be boring?
Well, it can be boring if you let it be boring. I'm thinking it probably when I remember my uncles retiring, and they'd say, now it's my time. And they'd sit on their front porch and drink gin and tonic and fall asleep and die before they're 60. Yeah. That's, and it's a different generation now. It's hard to compare, but as far as I'm concerned, I get up about 5:30 every morning, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes I'll sleep in and I'll go to 6. But I get up, my head's buzzing with things I want to do, with ideas, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about Thursday mornings. I love it. I get up real early. I go to Starbucks with my newspaper, read the whole newspaper because I want to be up on everything when I go into my Rotary Club meeting. And I usually mention something that happened on this day in 1821, at Starbucks. At Rotary. And I guess I need to feed myself. I've got energy. Sometimes it drives people crazy. It does. Sometimes my wife gets.
No.
Yeah, it does. She says, time for bed. And I'm also addicted to college football and college basketball. So I can't miss any of those. And I go to all my grandchildren's games, everything, lacrosse, soccer, volleyball.
And you play tennis and you ski,
yep.
Right?
Did I mention that my granddaughter Merle is the fastest 7th grader in District 51?
No.
100-yard dash champion.
Fantastic.
Champion, okay.
All right, well, hopefully we'll get her on the Palisade High School cross country and track team. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll run track. That's for Hank is a great cross country runner, but he's taking a leave of absence this year.
Yeah.
So he's doing mountain biking. He's a great mountain biker.
Well, isn't that great that the kids have so many opportunities available to them here?
That's why we live here.
I know.
Do you remember Robin's piece she used to do in the newspaper of why we live here? It's why we live here. I miss that. But she always used to say stuff like that.
Could you get her to start writing that again?
I wish I could.
I know.
I'm sure she's got a lot of spare time.
It was really good. Well, one more thing on here. Redlands tomato farmer.
Yeah, I'm a renowned tomato farmer.
You going to give Blaine some run for his money?
I don't think he has anything to worry about. But I'll tell you what. Right now, you go to my backyard, and I'll bet you there's 500 tomatoes this big on my vines.
Wow. What's your address?
See, that's another thing. I'm not telling anybody that. But Kath makes tomato sauce, and she cans it, and we give it away, and it's really good. It's really good and it's of course organic. Nothing. But we had a good late crop this year, late but very good. Yep. So I do that. So I think we covered it all.
I think we got pretty well through the list, but I know we could just talk forever.
We could.
I could talk to you forever, Biff. I really appreciate your energy. And whenever we see you come to the office, we're excited because we know we're going to have a good conversation. We're going to learn some things about new organizations that we didn't know about. And you're going to get us fired up about stuff. So thank you for that.
The feeling is mutual, Christi. I love you. I love everyone on your staff. I love your mission. I love what you do with your money for the community.
Thank you. We love to give back like you do, and it feels really good. And someday when I retire from real estate, real estate agents never really retire.
Yeah, I know.
I hope to follow in your footsteps and be giving up my time as much as you have. So
you probably will. You do enough now while you're working. So
the other thing I want to do, what I really love, is finding those dinosaur bones out at Rabbit Valley.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like the little work. That I find that very therapeutic. It's kind of like gardening, or pulling weeds.
Yeah.
I just little brush and yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I could do that for hours.
I was amazed at the petroglyphs that we saw when we went to Utah and everything. Because you think to yourself, someone did that, 5,000 years ago. There they are doing that, and it's really neat. And it's still there. And the buildings, a lot of the buildings are still there that they built on the side of those mountains. And the getting to there it was really a challenge. Do you know Kathy Green by any chance? Do you know Kathy Green?
Yes, I do.
She's one of our suppers. And she goes out on her own. Talk about a Colorado girl. Kath and I have words. We're riding our bike and someone will go by and say, "It's a Colorado girl," because they all look. They're tough.
Right?
They look
tough.
like
yeah, strong.
Yeah, well, she's a Colorado girl. She's fantastic and a good friend. But she goes out with her dog by herself into the far reaches of parks and stuff by herself, and I'm trying to convince her to take a gun. Now, let's not get into the gun talk, but I think it's dangerous.
The next time we meet,
I think it's dangerous for her to go out there like that.
But you know what? As a woman that grew up in Colorado, we're used to that. Like I feel like I can take care of myself, and I like to see the bears and I don't want to see a criminal out there, but I like to be out in the wild, and and I'm not afraid.
That's because you're the real deal.
Colorado girl.
Yeah. You talk to my wife who's from Brooklyn. Whole different slant on it. But we were in Utah and we were coming up this cliff and at the time, I weigh 190 pounds, and so we're getting up in this rock and she reaches down and says, "Take my hand." Well, she probably weighs like a $130, something like that, and she reaches down and grabs my hand, and it's like a vice. And she pulls me right up on the ledge. And it was really cool because I scraped the hell out of my knee. And it was bleeding and everything. And I had a scab on there for a long time. And every time someone said, when I was playing tennis, "What in the world happened to your knee?" I tell them that story. I said, Kathy Green. She lifted me right up with one arm.
Well, Biff, it's been our pleasure to host you here at the Full Circle podcast. Thank you for sharing your story and your enthusiasm and your love for our community. And keep it going, okay?
I will, and my pleasure, and I'll be back to pester you guys.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to the blood drive.
Anytime. Come in anytime.
Thank you,
Got
Christi.
his picture on the wall.
Yeah.
He's a member of the team.
Yep.
So, all right, this is Christi Reece and Biff Messinger signing off. We'll see you next time on the Full Circle podcast. Bye. Thanks for listening. This is Christi Reece signing out from the Full Circle podcast.